Alright, so I'm making this video because let me turn the brightness down on my computer so you can see my eyes. Um, Making this video because, well, it's more for a little bit of a rant on how I feel after reading some stuff today that has to do with Pokemon and just my opinions on things. Now, I do not care if you cheat in Pokemon or if you don't. I'm one of those people that understands fully if you don't have the time to do that sort of stuff and if you don't have time to breed or whatever. And yeah, it doesn't matter to me like where you get your Pokemon from or if you trade it from someone or whatnot. And yeah, I'm one of those people that, yeah, just don't mind or anything like that. I mean, after all, while I understand that sort of stuff, I'm also one of those people that have, if you look at that counter, yeah, that's how many eggs I've bred in total in my Pokemon X, not X, my Pokemon Y game. And then I've bred like about 100 or so in my Japanese game because I was trying to get a Monsoon Pavilion, which I did get, and it's shiny. I got it lucky with that. And yeah, but that's how many eggs that I've hatched in my Pokemon Y game, and that's probably going to be even more as after this video because right now breeding for Pikachu for the Pikachu Tournament game, which I own Japanese 3DS right here. See, I got two. I got this one. That's my US one, and it's in a skin. And I got this one, which is in a crystal case that's all scratched up and stuff, but it's got a capture device on it too. And yeah, so I got the Japanese one so I can play in the tournament, Pikachu Tournament 2 tournament. Now, like I said, I don't care if you cheat or if you don't. I've cloned Pokemon before for to give out and stuff. I mean, I'm doing that right now, sort of thing too. But now there is one thing. Now there's something that has to be said though. If you are caught in the act of cheating, while like even if it's an aesthetic change, such as a Pokeball of something that shouldn't be in a certain Pokeball, and this is caught in like a competition, the rules state that you should be like no matter what, if the Pokemon is altered by any means necessary, uh, it's illegal, and you can't say, "Oh, I didn't know that. I traded that Pokemon and it bred into it bred into that," because I know about a certain code where if you if you have, I guess, power saves, and if you hack in you can hack a Ditto to being a female so that they can breed the Pokemon of having that certain ball type, which, in my honest opinion, I wish Game Freak would have done, where if it was a female or if it was a Ditto, and female takes priority followed by Ditto, and then male doesn't have that option. That's how I think Game Freak should have done it, but no. Instead, they didn't do it that way, and that causes it to actually be seen as a cheat more so than anything, because Dittos do not transfer their Pokeball if bred. I've tried it, does not work. And tried that like long time ago, like back in November or something last year. I've known that forever now. So, yeah. And then I've also seen people get disqualified because they've had like 99 Master Balls in their bag. Yeah. And while that does not edit the Pokemon at all, doesn't doesn't edit their IVs or EVs or stats or anything like that, just edits the type of Pokeball they are in. yeah, they've still gotten disqualified for that, which probably should get disqualified for that because, yeah, again, been caught in the act. So yeah, and yeah, I think people that are watching this probably know what this is about a little bit, and I know I'm late to the party, but after looking into like what happened in the Pokemon World Championship, uh, apparently someone used the Tyranitar with Ice Punch, but it was in a Cherish Ball, so it was not hacked because I guess Japan had the Tyranitar event or whatever. Um, I don't know for certain if the person was using a Japanese Tyranitar or not. If they were, it would have appeared in Japanese whenever they like had it out. But if they didn't, if it wasn't in Japanese, that means that it was hacked. I'm almost positive because if you fight people that are in Japan, they send out Pokemon that are in. They pretty much send out Pokemon that are in Japanese. Same thing with English users. If an English user sends out an English Pokemon, it'll be sent out in their English name. Hence why nicknaming doesn't matter if you're going up against random people. Now, what was I going to say? So yeah, that led one thing to another, and then someone was talking about this reminds them of the Aegislash that was found hacked. And after looking into it a little bit, the three-time winner of the three-time world winner champion, whatever, can't say it right. The three-time winner of the world championship for the past 3 years was caught this year back in July using an Aegislash with the Dream Ball captured in it. Now, if anyone knows their Pokemon, if anyone knows their Pokemon knowledge, that means that they used an Aegislash that was caught in a Pokeball that shouldn't even be able to be caught in that because Dream Balls are not available in 6th Gen and Aegislash came out in 6th Gen. However, this guy was caught and whenever like it was happening or whatever, they didn't pay any mind to it or anything, and I think they let it slip by or whatever, which is not what you should be doing in an official tournament if you are caught with that. Like even if it's aesthetic, because yeah, and I will get to that in a second. Because people are probably going to be thinking right now, you can't pack Pokemon in 6th generation. I'll get to that in a second, so hold that thought. Yeah, aesthetic, yeah, okay, I can get you, except, that means that they may have used a Ditto that, again, has, that has the female thing, and also that can be done with power saves, which only edits the gender. So they could have brought it over from 5th generation and then changed the changed the gender from unknown to female, so that they could hack whatever Pokeball they want. Because I also heard that some people were like using Mawiles with love balls, and people were like, that can't happen. And it's like, well, yeah, it can, because if you bring a Mawile from 4th generation, I don't know if you can catch Mawile in the wild in Gold and Silver. I know some Pokemon you can't catch in the wild in that generation that shouldn't have that at all, like 5th generation Pokemon, for example. um, but either way, whether it's a stat change or an aesthetic change, cheating is still cheating, even if they say, which this is what the person, or this is what the guy also had to say, that this was a traded Pokemon that, yeah, he didn't know any knowledge of, that he doesn't know his Pokeball knowledge is what he's claiming to say. And, yeah, then he goes on to say that he's only played 66 hours of the game. Now, I understand there's a thing called Pokemon Showdown that you can do your little stuff on that and stuff. But if you don't even know like that's like going into a like whenever the game multiplayer game comes out, that's like going into the game and not knowing the controls or anything, yet you want to go into the multiplayer right away because that's proper Pokemon knowledge. I mean, I think I've wanted Pokemon in certain Pokeballs since I knew about the whole female thing. And then I saw it starting to catch on GameFAQs where they wanted a certain Pokemon in a certain Pokeball in a shiny form or whatever. And that's like hard to do unless you do it yourself, which is why I do my own breeding. And that leads me to another thing. Don't breed Pokemon like that are obviously hacked to hell. For example, breeding a Ditto that is female. If you see that on if you get that as a trade, obviously something's going on because yeah. Or same thing with 6th generation Pokemon in Apricorn balls. You should know this. Proper knowledge says you should know this. I mean, the only place that you can see those kind of balls in 6th gen is in that Pokeball shop in the big city, which, again, I'm horrible with names. I cannot. The only times I remember names are I know what they look like, but I suck at names, just like in real life. I suck at names if I'm first time meeting you or whatever, but I gotta just remember it from there. Or I just gotta get it repeated to myself for so long. But either way, the knowledge is still there. I know what it looks like. I know if it's 6th generation or 5th generation or 4th generation, etc., etc. And just like I was kind of questionable one year when I was used self-destruct on from a Snorlax, and it's like, the heck can Snorlax learn self-destruct? Apparently, it can learn self-destruct via Munchlax on like certain things like 3rd generation. You can learn it via Pokemon XD, I think, as well as Munchlax on the Pokewalker thing, and I think there's probably a few other ways, but yeah, it's really hard to get. And I got one now too by XD. So yeah, and bred it and got it on my I got it on my Snorlax in my Pokemon X game by breeding like heck. It took forever to breed because because you have to do the incense and destiny knot and then pray to God that you gotta, or pray to whatever mystic thing, or don't pray at all. Hope that you get a Snorlax with the right nature and perfect IVs, which got on here now. So yeah, it's really hard to get that sort of thing, and imagine it with being shiny. No, I don't want to imagine that at all, because shiny Snorlax sucks. But either way, if you like 66 hours in game, you don't care about the single player, and it's like, so how did you get your items from, like, say, the battle places and stuff, because you gotta get your items. Well, apparently all these pros, from what I've heard, either do the power saves or if they have low time and say, I don't know anything about single player. Apparently they also ask for trades and stuff too. That's how some of these channels that do this way, instead of doing Pokemon Showdown, they have a lot of teams because they ask for or they get Pokemon from certain people and use them on their teams. I don't like doing that, and I prefer using my own trained Pokemon because I know it's not hacked. And yeah, breeding my own Pokemon much better. And I mean, I may use Pokemon that are traded to me as a means to breed with, but I'll know if it's something that shouldn't be bred with, because obviously if I'm breeding with a Ditto that has a Dream Ball in it, yeah, not gonna happen. Now, or a Ditto with a Dream Ball that's female, yeah, something's wrong there. Now people are thinking, but it's just an aesthetic change. What's the worst that can happen? I'm pretty sure, and they didn't know about it. Yeah. Well, people that know that I play Phoenix right, uh, they know that in the fourth game, aka Apollo Justice, Phoenix Wright got caught using forged evidence, which he did not know about, in the game. And what happened in the game? He got his attorney's badge revoked, even without knowing that that's what it was. And I'm pretty sure if you used forged evidence in court, whether you know about it or not, you're going to get in some serious trouble. Same thing with fixing games, for example, football games, like if the football team throws the game because of a gambling thing, then yeah, there's gonna be people getting arrested for doing something like that. And I think I remember reading like just a little bit ago that about fixing games, where even people that were playing like StarCraft, were fixing games, and 2 people actually did get arrested from that. I forget the location, but yeah, either way, it's like, well, I didn't technically cheat. I just threw the game. Like, I didn't really do that much in the game or whatever. I mean, that's a strategy, right? But I made a lot of money for it because I fixed game. Yeah, okay. That's gonna go along unpunishable. Yeah, because you just didn't do anything, so you could win money. Yeah. Either way, something that was also in Phoenix Wright, the ends justify the means. Yeah, just because he took less time because he hacked Pokemon into the game doesn't mean that it should be done. And yeah, like, especially if you did it a horrible, horrible job and where it doesn't even look legal anymore, including aesthetic changes. And yeah, so that's my opinion on that. Now people are still probably thinking, but Luke, you can't hack 6th generation. No, you can't hack that at all. That's not gonna happen. Like, seriously, no, that's... You crazy? Um, actually, let me just switch the camera angle a little bit. Let's see, that one first. You see this right here? You see this? This is called Cyber Save Editor for Japanese console Nintendo 3DS. That's a very good name. Pretty much, Cyber Save Editor allows you to edit anything in the game that you want without going online, like say Power Saves, where that requires you to have online access in order to access the codes and send your save over to Daytel. I think that's how it works. You send your save to Daytel, and then they send you back the save or whatever, and it'll be all edited and stuff. This one, this baby right here, if you have a Japanese 3DS, you will be able to use this along with your Japanese cartridge, if you have the Japanese cartridge, and pretty much go into the game and hack whatever the heck you want. And now people are probably thinking, there's nothing like that out there yet, Luke. I mean, this is probably new, right? You see this? You see this? This is a Pokemon Pokegen sort of thing that has come out that only allows Japanese, like as you can tell, I can't highlight it or anything because these are screenshots, but you can probably read the big bold letters that says Japanese cart and Japanese system only. That means anyone with a Japanese console and the Japanese Pokemon X and Y cartridge, they can go into their game if they have this software and hack their game and get a whatever the hell they want with perfect IVs, perfect perfect ability that they need their Pokemon for, perfect nature, perfect anything the hell they want, including making it shiny. Yes, that's every single Pokemon that's in 6th generation. So, yeah, I don't know when this came out, but apparently this topic has been talked about since February. So, and, yeah, again, this requires the CyberSave editor, Japanese cartridge of Pokemon X or Y, and the Japanese 3DS system themselves. That means if you have this, which I'll even show you all, I don't have the, don't have it, like, hooked up or anything, but this means that if you have, let me set it up real quick. Almost there. Almost there. Thank you. And let's just go to screen region. And that means if you have this, and look, it looks... Let me capture the other screen so you can see that it's in English. Look, this looks like the English version, right? Right? This looks like the English version. Wrong. This is the Japanese version, but it's not the cartridge. It's the download. But yeah, pretty much I already got step 1 into being able to hack Pokemon is by obtaining the Japanese system. So all I need is the software and the physical copy of the game, and I'll have everything I need in order to hack the game. It's that simple, and I'm pretty sure if I have a system, more than likely someone that is able to travel the country to get a travel the country to go to every single Pokemon tournament, I'm pretty sure they would have some money stored somewhere where they could probably get the system, the game, and the software in order to do this. So, for those that think Pokemon 6th Gen is not hackable, I think some of you probably stand corrected. Either way, yeah, that is my little thoughts of hacking in or cheating and hacking and stuff. Like again, don't mind if you cheat or anything just to save time or whatever. But if you do a horrible job at cheating and you get caught doing it and make it obvious, such as making a freaking Aegislash in a Dream Ball, you should know what is caught and how it's bred and etc. etc. And I mean, I make sure as you can tell, I know things that probably not a lot of people know, including that save editor that that can allow you to edit things such as probably even get event Pokemon that aren't even out yet. Hoopa and what's that other one? Volcanion or whatever. I like Hoopa myself, but yeah, I'm pretty sure if you I'm pretty sure I got a few of my Pokemon facts straight. So either way, whether you do the stat hacking or even just something as small and minuscule as say Pokeball changing, which I like all my Pokemon in Dive Balls again. I don't even use I would like to use Rotom Wash or any of the Rotoms, but no, the only way to get those by having a Dive Ball is to catch them because they are unknown gender, which means you can only breed with Ditto, which means you cannot have a dive ball attached to them, so I'm not going to use it. So I'm actually handicapping myself because it is not able to be used, but I find ways to make my teams a little different. So, yeah. Yeah. Just take that as my change, that my 2 cents worth of information, because I don't know if people at like Gold Nugget will hate me, because I also saw a paste bin that had a conversation where someone called them out on it, I guess, but I don't know if that was true or not. That could have just been a whole made up conversation, so I'm not going to get too much into it, but I've seen that paste bin and it makes me think a little bit at the same time, but I'm not going to explain it. You're going to have to find that yourself if you want to see what I've seen, but I'm not going to give that information. All I know is seeing that this is why I don't like this is why I don't this is one reason why I'm kind of antisocial in real life, because it's like then once you start getting a group of friends or something, it seems like they will pretty much be jerks to everyone, and it's like I don't There's actually one last thing that I forgot to mention that I actually saw that's even on their rule sheet for the VGCs. Yeah. And also, it seems like whenever I mention something like that to even a representative of the VGCs, um, yeah, they kind of look it over and say, whatever. And this is no exception, especially whenever it comes to a 3-time world winning champion. And that's illegally manipulated Pokemon. The use of external devices such as mobile app to modify or create items or Pokemon in a player's party is expressly forbidden. Players found to have Pokemon or items that have been tampered with will be disqualified from competition, regardless of whether Pokemon or items belong to that player or were traded for. POP, Pokemon something player. I forget what it stands for off the top of my head, but it's pretty much Pokemon official play or something like that. Play official Pokemon, something like that. Recommends players only use Pokemon that they have raised themselves and items that they have received through normal gameplay. It is always the player's responsibility to have legal Pokemon and items during the competition. A player's battle box may be checked at any time for illegal Pokemon. Any Masters Division player who fails this check may be immediately disqualified and be unable to participate in the tournament. Pretty much, let me just say this again. Pretty much, the people at the tournament, the official spokespeople of the tournament and the referees and all that, they pretty much let the 3-time world-winning champion slide on by, even though he used a tampered Pokemon, which it was his responsibility to know that it was tampered. And yeah, even if it was an aesthetic thing, it was still tampered with, because it was, even though it was bred, it was an illegal Pokeball, which if someone might say it's not the same, Luke, but it's a little bit the same, where if you use like steroids well, no. This is a good example. If a police pulls you over and apparently catches you with a DUI of high, like enough to arrest you while you were driving, but you had absolutely no idea because someone spiked your drink, you're still probably going to get arrested. So yeah, same thing can be said with this. If you even if you didn't know that the Pokeball was not, if it wasn't supposed to be in the right thing, uh yeah, it's still going to be, you should still be disqualified, even if you are, yeah. And same thing, like I remember people saying Lance Armstrong won so many things and then uh got his stuff taken away from him that he won with because he was found caught being or using steroids. So yeah, same thing can kind of be said for this, because even if it was Pokeball, it's still something that shouldn't have been legal in any way, shape, or form. Because pretty sure if you try to bring a Pokemon from the 5th generation to 6th generation and they were in a Pokeball that they shouldn't be in. Like, for example, if you bred a Pokemon, if you say you bred a Pokemon and it was in like a Premier Ball instead of it being a Pokeball, because the Pokeball thing is new with the breeding for this generation. Yeah, if you are caught with something like that in Pokemon Bank, it won't allow you to trade it over, I believe. So I'm surprised they didn't use that kind of hack checker with the Pokemon tournament. But no, let's just let the guy pass because it's just an aesthetic thing. Even though that does show that he kind of sort of tampered with the Pokemon, whether it was one thing or another. Either way, someone that also made a comment on a posting that I saw, which made me laugh a little bit. The first and only rule about cheating is to not get caught. That made me laugh a little bit, but I think that I'm pretty sure cheaters would actually agree with that. But at the same time, it, I've seen some hackers say that they shouldn't be doing that sort of stuff, even if like they shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff in the get-go, editing Pokeballs just to show off or whatever. So yeah, that's just my little afterthought after just about editing the previous part. But yeah, I think I needed to actually say that. So now I'm done. I hope.